Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to our YouTube channel French podcast. I'm your host Rajan Chouhan, and today we are going to be talking about two French words that can often cause confusion for learners. That is avant and devant. Both of these words can be translated to English as before or in front of, but they actually have slightly different meanings and uses. So let's dive in and explore the nuances of these two important French words. So let's start with avant. In French, avant is primarily used to mean before in a temporal sense, as in je vais te voir avant le dîner, means I am going to see you before dinner. It can also be used to mean in front of in a spatial sense, but this is less common than the temporal uses. For example, il y a un chat devant la maison. Il y a un chat devant la maison. There is a cat in front of the house. Note that in this context, devant could also be used, but avant emphasizes the idea of before rather than just in front of. So now let's move on to devant. Devant is most commonly used to mean in front of in a special sense. For example, le chien est devant la porte. The dog is in front of the door. However, devant can also be used in a temporal sense to mean before, particularly in the expression devant de, means beforehand. For example, il faut préparer le dîner devant de partir. We need to prepare dinner beforehand leaving. It's worth noting that there are a few other ways to express the idea of in front of in French, such as en face de and face à. However, devant is generally the most commonly used and versatile option. So, to sum up, avant primarily means before in a temporal sense and can also mean in front of in a spatial sense. Devant primarily means in front of in a spatial sense but can also mean before in a temporal sense. Both words are important to know and use correctly in French, but they have slightly different meanings and uses. So that's it for today's episode of French Podcast. We hope you found this discussion of avant and devant helpful and informative. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And as always, thanks for tuning in. A bientôt.